Pisces, I'm Ronique and welcome to Scorpio Soul Time. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to your mid-March through April career tarot reading for 2025. As you already know, if you have seen those March general readings, I would suggest that you take a look at those if you have not. But if you have, you already know we are into some big times here, Pisces. You all have a stellium of planets in your sign, but we're also working with Venus retrograde in Aries and Pisces, as well as Mercury retrograde. We also have eclipse season here. We also have the sun conjuncting so many of your planets, Pisces, in terms of the North Node, Saturn. Neptune will be moving into Aries out of your sign, which is going to be huge for your career. So really take a look at where you all are at, Pisces, because we do have this huge stellium of planets in your sign, and I do think that's going to affect your career. So do take a look at the description box below. We will start off at mid-March and go through mid-April. So let's get started. So you start off mid-March with the Four of Cups, as well as the Two of Swords, possibly some type of decisions that you are mulling over here. Last part of March, when we get to the eclipse season here, we have the Temperance card in reverse, Sagittarius energy, and the Devil card, Capricornian energy, also major arcana. By the time we're coming into April, I told you it was a big time here. Tower card in the reverse, some major decisions needing to be made, Pisces, as well as the King of Pentacles in the reverse. And by the time we get to mid-April, look at that. The Magician card comes into your reading. So nice to see that. Some type of major culminations that happen here in March could definitely help you here in April. And look at that, the Empress card. So I'm so glad to see those two cards come out once you get into April, because that means all of this turmoil that is going on here is not for naught. It's not for naught. So let's go ahead and I'm going to pull a card representing the energy that you bring into mid-March and April for your career. So Spirit, if you can send my Pisceans a card representing the energy that they bring into this period. What have they been working with around their career? What do they need to know? And you have the Ten of Cups in reverse. So I think this depiction of the Ten of Cups is so very interesting. Let me turn it over just so you can see. So you can see it's like this staircase or stair-stepped up to the top. And then on the top, it's almost like these angel wings, or this person in this angelic pose. With this in reverse, it does suggest that some of you dealing with your household, your family life, maybe it has not been as serene as you would like. I do think that many of you will have had some challenges back in February around your family finances. And I do think for this month, I would say as you go into eclipse season, Pisces, really take a look at the major themes that still keep coming up. I do think your family is going to be enlightened and you all are going to have some really good times in April. I do think you have some great manifestations coming, but Spirit is telling you you're going to have to go through a little bit of turmoil or just a period of change before that occurs. And I do think that's important for all of us, because that is what eclipse season is, right? It is eclipsing out something in your life that is no longer needed. So let's go ahead and ask Spirit to send you an oracle message. Spirit, if you can send my Pisceans an oracle message for their career. And you have balance number 2. And this definitely is signifying what you need to work on during this time. I do think that many of you all with this balance card and this temperance card, this has been a challenge. This has been something that you have been like this duality of like doing too much or not enough, not knowing when to push harder, not knowing when to maybe take a step back in your career. And I do think many of you all have an important decision, because remember, 2 is is duality. You have that Two of Swords here, and you have this Balance card, which is signifying somewhere you're needing to make a huge decision, and you're going to need to find balance in that decision. And I do think with your job, if you have been let go or you are concerned about whether or not to stay at this certain job, this is going to be the balance that you're going to need to bring into your life in order to help you make that decision. And so I do think that this is a big month also, Pisces. I decided to bring in one more deck. This is actually going to be a card representing just your career. Where is it that Spirit is telling you you need to focus just for your job, just for how you move through this mid-March through April, okay? Look at that, the Knight of Pentacles. So who doesn't want a Pentacle card coming out as the overarching theme? And the Knight is that card of action, wanting to move forward. I do think for many of you all during this period, pay attention to those eclipses, especially that Virgo one, which occurs on the 14th, because that one is going to signify almost like the tail end of what you're moving away from, right? You all are on the other side of that Virgo energy. And this Knight of Pentacles is reminding you as you move through the rest of March into April, there's going to be some type of opportunity for some new growth of money, and also opportunity of someone coming towards you, possibly with a job offer, possibly with some opportunities for you to explore. This is really nice to see, Pisces. So congratulations for getting that awesome news and that awesome information coming on in. So let's go ahead and go week by week, Pisces. I think that Knight of Pentacles and that Balance card is just what you need this month. So as we start off this reading mid-March, that lunar eclipse I just mentioned in Virgo on the 14th, this is going to be a full moon that highlights details you need to start focusing on. Now, I just heard as I was reading that, remember whatever decisions you need to make, we're still having Mercury and Venus retrograde. So this may not be the time to actually sign important papers. This may not be the time to actually move forth with those details, but this is a good time for strategizing. And I do think this Two of Swords, Four of Cups, some of you have been ignoring some important details. Someone has been bringing you some information that you have been ignoring. I do think that Mercury retrograde starting on the 15th is going to be this energy, a slowdown. And I think you're going to start having more information coming on in during this Mercury retrograde, but I don't think you'll have a full picture until Mercury moves direct later on in April. So do not get too fixated on having to have a decision. Just work on the details, work on strategizing, and work on whatever is not working, okay? And I do think that that's going to be important for all of us during this time, is what is it that needs to be left behind? You can see here with the Temperance card, Devil card, two major arcanas here. Once we get into the sun entering Aries on the 20th, we have a brand new astrological new year here on the 20th. This is going to be the perfect time for you to figure out where is it that the energy has been stagnant. Remember, Aries is that sign of initiation, moving forward. And I do think this Temperance card in reverse is suggesting an imbalance that you have had. Remember, you did get that balance oracle message, but that Capricorn Devil energy, that to me feels like goals that you have been trying to put in place that you haven't seen any movement, or you are concerned that this is not the direction you want to move. Remember, Venus retrograde is a good time to reassess all of those goals. And by time you get to the 27th, when Venus is conjunct Neptune in Pisces, I do think many of us are going to be going through this time of like, what was real, what wasn't. And I think you all are going to get crystal clear on it with that Devil card, with that Temperance card. A few days later, we have that solar eclipse, 9 degrees of Aries. This is a new moon. This is closing out a 2-year eclipse cycle. So many of you all are going to have realizations around that eclipse of what you really want, what you need to let go of, okay? And I do think that many of you all, Pisces, have already been feeling this. This is not new energy, just because you all have had Saturn, Neptune, the sun, the North Node, Mercury, Venus. Like, you've had all these planets in your sign. So I do not think this is going to be new information of what needs to be let go or what needs to be let go. Yeah, okay. By the time we get into April, look at this. King of Pentacles, Tower card, both in reverse. Neptune enters Aries on March 30th. This is what I think begins whatever this is. There's a Tower moment here that either is coming, has already happened, and you're dealing with the fallout. I do think that there are some people at your company or in your organization who are not for your highest good. This is not a place either that you want to remain, or you're trying to see how you can get transferred to a different department or possibly a different company. I do think that this is going to be some major news right around that Neptune entering Aries on the 30th. It could happen later into April when we have Mercury turning direct in Pisces on the 7th of April. This is when communications start coming out. This is when information starts coming out. And I do think that by the time you get to, April 12th, when the sun is conjunct Chiron in Aries, this is a big day. We have a Libra full moon this same day, and Venus turns direct in Pisces. So by the time you get to April 12th, don't be surprised if some of this information starts coming out about a boss, about a leader. This could be someone actually outside of your company, but it affects you all. So a good example would be like here in the US, where many federal workers are losing their jobs because of the new presidential administration. That could be something where it's like some kind of Tower moment information finally trickles down to you and affects you in your job, or this could be you hear of these things happening. But I do think that April 12th, big day for the collective and you all too, with that Tower and King of Pentacles. Now, what I do like though is that by time we move into mid-April, after Venus has turned direct, April 14th, we now have all planets direct. So from April 14th until May 3rd, nice long period. That's like 2.5 weeks worth of all planets direct. This is the time for new conversations, new job applications, networking, meeting with people. If you are happy in your job, maybe this is about acquiring new clients, starting some new social media campaign. Something here is working in your favor. You are building some type of new ideas and progress, and you have all the tools that you need, Pisces, which is beautiful energy after all of this roughness that you had in eclipse season. So I would say by the time you get to the 14th, all planets direct, Saturn conjunct North Node in Pisces, that last day here of this reading, April 14th, some kind of culmination point comes for you all, Pisces, and you have learned a lesson by this point. So really nice to see that. And I do think, Pisces, that you all just need to learn from whatever Saturn and Neptune have been teaching you for these last, like Neptune's been here for, I think, like 12 years. Saturn's been here for 2 years. So you all are kind of like coming to the end of this cycle. And I think between that Knight of Pentacles, this balance card, and then by the time you move through this kind of challenging energy around the eclipses, by the time you move into April, when all planets are direct, I do think you all have some type of new opportunities awaiting you, or you will start some brand new cycle in your career. So overall, this looks like a really great reading. So let me know, what are you all looking forward to mid-March through April? And I'll talk to you later.